Folks, hello and welcome to Steve the Drummer at YouTube.com, where we're bringing yesterday's music into tomorrow. And today I'm going to kick off a two-part series regarding my brand new drum set, the Roland TD50KV2 drum set. So I've had it for a little bit of time now, and I've had a chance to get it out of the box and play with it some, to record some covers and do some various videos. And so I'm going to kick things off with 5 things I love about my brand new Roland TD50KV2 drum set, and then I'm going to follow that up in a second video here in the near term. 5 things that I hate about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set. And if you recall, I did a similar series on my F-note drums earlier in the year, and so my Turnabouts fair play here, my hope and my goal here is to point out some of the features and benefits both that I like and some of the things that are less desirable maybe about this particular drum set, so that you can make some informed purchase decisions in the future about what you may want to buy. So anyhow, here goes 5 things I love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set. So the number one thing that I absolutely love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set has got to be the attention to detail. And so I'm going to give you a couple of minor examples and then kind of magnify that out a little bit. But for instance, so I know this is true with I think it's the VHD14 digital hi-hats. It's also true with the VH13 hi-hats that Roland had previously. They have a little anti-rotation stopper that they install on both of those particular hi-hats, and on that particular hi-hat rotation stopper, they actually have multiple inserts that you can use based on the width or the diameter of your hi-hat stand itself. If you have a hi-hat stand with a narrow pipe, they have a thicker adapter you can put on, and if you have a hi-hat stand with a thicker pipe, they have a thinner adapter that you can put on. And so that's a very tiny little thing, but that's just a nice attention to detail that I think carries forward into a lot of the rest of the details of their product. Additionally, with this particular drum set comes with the KD180 bass drum. And typically bass drums that are 16 or 18 inches come with a riser on the front to help make the drum more usable. If you have a 20 or 22 inch or larger kick drum, you don't really need a riser on the front. But 16 and 18 inch drums you do. And so on this particular drum, the riser on the bottom the plate is adjustable. It can extend out further. Depending on your particular beater, you can adjust that plate into the right position so that when you mount your pedal, you can put your pedal in the optimum position. Once again, this is a minor detail, but it's a detail, and I think that, you know, with like the hi-hats, that really carries forward into the overall build quality of the product. And the last detail I'd like to point out is the rack system itself. It is on this particular drum set, it is their biggest, best, whatever Mac Daddy rack system that they have. It has the ability to hold the most pads. It comes in a chrome color as opposed to black. But a couple of details about it that I think are really impressive. All the parts, or basically all the parts that I can see anyhow, are made out of metal. And there's no real plastic or anything like that involved in it. And the cords and the cables go through the rack, and everything comes out in the right place. It starts at the module, all the cords come out on that side of the rack, and then when you get to the left middle of the rack, then the cords that would be appropriate to your number 1 crash and your kick drum and your snare drum and your number 1 rack tom come out there. And then when you get to the right side of the rack, the cords that would be appropriate for that side of your rack come out. With your number 2 crash and your additional toms and auxiliary cables and things of that nature. So it's just a nice feature that, you know, cable management's a really big deal for e-drummers in particular, and this is a really nice feature that I think, you know, helps out with cable management. Additionally, there's a couple of collar locks on the rack that are designed to, like memory locks, that'll help you remember where everything's supposed to be when you tear down and set up, and they also, I'm sure, provide additional support as well. So my number one thing that I really like about this drum set, and one last, oh, by the way, is the anti-rotation stoppers on the cymbals themselves. I think that Roland has the most superior anti-rotation system of any e-drum company out there. These are minor details, but they carry forward into the product, and they demonstrate what a commitment Roland has to the build quality of what they're putting out. The number two benefit, in my opinion, or the number two thing that I love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set is the digital pads. And this comes with three. It comes with the digital ride and the digital snare that have been available for, you know, pretty much since the TD50 was introduced back around 2016 or 2017. So we're going on almost 8 years since this product hit the market. Those two pads have been available, obviously, in the last 2 to 3-ish years. Roland has come out with the digital hi-hats to complement that. Now, I got into a little bit of a back and forth in the comments section on a video here recently, and somebody said to me, what exactly is the benefits of digital? And I'm going to flash some different things from the Roland website on the screen, but I'm going to tell you also what digital means to me. And in essence, digital means A, more sensors, and B, more samples. And so they need a different type of cable to transmit that information. And so they've settled on the USB cable that they use. And so, you know, you've got more sensors picking up more different dynamics and more different nuances of your three most important, most nuanced instruments of your drum set, being the ride cymbal, the snare drum, and the hi-hat. And so you've got more sensors picking up more different stick positions and hits and things of that different nature. And then conversely, you've also got more samples in the module, you know, more variations of open close, more variations of bell, more variations of snare buzz versus roll versus hit. And so to me, all this comes together and translates into a better playing experience. And yes, there's another manufacturer, obviously F-Note, that has their 5-pin cable. And I had somebody argue that they felt like that was a digital system as well. And I don't know if I agree with that or not. You know, the reason that F-Note is using the 5-pin cable is because they're heavily borrowing from the technology that ATV started of using a light sensor instead of a piston to register open close. And ATV's product includes a power cord, and F-Note's does not. F-Note sends both electricity to run that light and also takes the signals from all the different sensors. Now, I will say that, honestly, in my opinion, the F-Note hi-hat and the Roland hi-hat are the absolute two best on the market. But I would argue that where F-Note wins maybe is in the quality of their samples, and where Roland wins is the USB cable is much more robust than that 5-pin cable. So feature number two that I really love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set is the digital pads that come included with the kit. The third feature that I really love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set is the module. And the module itself, so what I think really makes this module special is its editing capabilities. Now, I'm not super knowledgeable about every single manufacturer and every single module on the market. I know there's some people that are really big fans of the Pearl Mimic, and that is a great product as well, though I have no experience with it. I know there are some fans of the ATV module, and though I've used ATV drums, I've never used the ATV module. There are some people that are some fans of the F-Note module, and obviously I've used both the F-Note 5 and the F-Note 7, so I do have some experience there. And as far as Roland modules, I've used the TD11, the TD30, the TD50, and now the TD50X. In my mind, the TD50 and TD50X platform is probably, in my mind, it's the best module out there, in my opinion. I know this is an opinion, and I'm going to get some flack for this. What makes this module great is the ability to craft your sounds, and it goes well beyond just changing out a different tom or a different ride cymbal or a different, you know, kick drum or snare sample or whatever. The ability to import your own samples, the ability to layer samples, the ability to adjust the transient, the attack, and the release, the ability to put effects like reverb and compression and a slew of other effects that, quite frankly, I'm trying to learn about. The ability to EQ individual pads as well as the drum set, as well as so many other things. In my mind, this particular module is one of the most capable that you can possibly get. And I think this is, you know, something, I think the TD27 also is an excellent module, and I went back and forth over whether to get a TD27 or a TD50. Ultimately what won out was the pad selection that came with the 50 versus the 27. I was looking for two 12-inch floor toms, and I was looking for I guess what I would just call more proportional sizing. And I really don't like the kick tower that's on the KD27. Or that's on the TD27. So those are some things that push me towards the TD50 versus the TD27 drum set. But I digress here. The TD50 module, in my mind, has got to be one of the very best features of this drum set. And so the last feature of this drum set that I want to kind of bring to light here, or actually the last two, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be 5 things that I love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set. And I'm going to kind of combine the last two. And those last two are reliability and durability. And so speaking a little bit to reliability first, when I think about reliability, Roland's core mission all along has been to create a drum set that has excellent triggering with extremely low latency. Those have always been their core principles. And I think in that level, in that realm, this particular drum set delivers really, really well. I think, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I never ever get a mistrigger out of this drum set, nor would I say that I've never gotten a mistrigger out of any other drum set. That's kind of something that goes along the lines with electronic drums. Is sometimes you're looking for potatoes and you get squashed instead. I mean, that does happen. However, I will say that the triggering accuracy of the Roland drums across the board is probably amongst the highest that I've experienced. And the manufacturers that the products that I have used have been Roland products, ATV products, and F-Note products. And so in my mind, the reliability, when I hit a rim click, I get a rim click. When I hit a rim shot, I get a rim shot. When I hit a rim with a cowbell on it, I get a cowbell. When I hit the tom, I get the tom sound. The reliability of the triggering, in my opinion, is really second to none. And I think that, you know, as Roland has stretched into the VAD line and other manufacturers like F-Note and ATV have developed full shell kits, it's become a more common thing to have multiple triggers in the drum as opposed to just one cone trigger in the center. And in the one cone trigger in the center, the downside of that obviously is hot spotting, and having multiple triggers in the drum is supposed to eliminate that problem. It's supposed to give a more realistic sense. And what I'm speaking directly to here is your toms. In the TD50KV2, we're dealing with some older pads as far as the toms are concerned. There's two 10-inch toms and there's two 12-inch toms, and they both have center mounted triggers, aka the old technology. The VAD drums, the 10-inch tom has one sensor in the middle, but they've determined anything larger than that. The 12-inch toms, 14-inch toms, things of that nature, they've kind of borrowed from the ATV F-Note technology of having at least 3 sensors, or actually that would technically give you 6 sensors because you've got the 3 cones around the drum and then the 3 rim sensors to go with that. Roland has adopted that technology on their larger pads. However, on this particular kit, that is not the case. These are the older pads that just have one trigger cone in the center. And that goes for the 2 toms, the 2 rack toms and the two floor toms. However, my trigger reliability has been good. I haven't had any issues with this drum set. And when I speak to durability of the drum set, I'm really speaking kind of in the abstract because I really just unboxed this thing a couple of months ago. And so when I talk about reliability, I'm thinking more along the lines of my previous experience with my TD30 and my previous experience with my TD50 module paired with my ATV shell kit. I played those drums quite a lot over the years. I made a lot of drum covers with those videos. They were set up and torn down several times. I had the TD30 kit with the TD50 module set up in my band's rehearsal space, and in a rehearsal space, equipment tends to get beat up a little bit. And then I had the ATV shell pack with the TD50 module, tearing it up and setting it up and playing in clubs and putting it back in boxes and all. All the stuff held up really well, especially the digital snare drum. That thing is built like a Mack truck. If I hit that thing with my car would sustain far more damage than that snare drum. So, you know, reliability and durability, the last 2 things that I absolutely love about my Roland TD50 drum set. So I'm going to sum all that up with a conclusion here. 5 things I love about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set. the attention to detail, the digital pads, the module, the reliability and the durability, I believe, are features and benefits that clearly set this drum set apart. It's expensive. It was really expensive. I traded in a lot of gear and I threw some cash down on top of that. Eric Ham over at eDrum Center gave me a great deal, and I'm really pleased with the purchase. And I'm look to do business with Eric again in the future if I have future eDrumming needs. But I think this is a really solid purchase. Now I'm going to come back here in the near term, and I don't know exactly what the near term is. But I'm going to come back in the near term, and I'm going to give you the 5 things that I hate about my Roland TD50KV2 drum set. Anyhow, I sincerely appreciate everybody stopping by. I hope you have a great day. Take care.